Ah, gotta love that music. The autumn wind is a Raider. Always has been and always will be. When John Facenda raised his voice, the voice of God, to evoke those words from the poetry from the Zabel and Son productions of NFL films. They're both in the Hall of Fame. So there's a lot of different subjects we're going to talk about the Hall of Fame upcoming. A sore subject for those maybe in the New England area. I mean, I understand, and I'm going to, trust me, I'm going to get into it with Mark, my guest, Mark Santos, son of Gil Santos, who's been around for, I think he said it was at 7 or 8. We'll get that exact number as well. 7 or 8 Super Bowls, including his first Super Bowl, which was Super Bowl 11, when the Raiders beat the Vikings. Was that 32-14? Hey, Dory. It has been a while. Good to see you, darling. And Jack Westafeste is in here. Good to see Dory. Good to see Jack. So basically, if it's an official show, Marinovich, when he gets in here, it's an official show. And when Firpo comes in and screams Raider, it's an official show. But Jack Westafeste is also my lieutenant of official shows. Because when it's in here, when he's in here, it's an official show. So we're good. So we got 3 people watching. So it's Jack and Dory. And technically there's another person watching who's off camera. And I'm going to dime her out right now. There's Kayla, who is watching from the studios where Mark Santos is in. I told her she's going to have to be on camera this time because I get better ratings. I get better ratings with good-looking ladies. And you'll see her later. We're going to try to coax her in. But again, great Super Bowl talk from New England with Mr. Mark Santos. And without further ado, I'm going to bring him in here. Mark, a lot of positive things being evoked. I hope I built you up. And all this is off the cuff. This is not scripted. It's all just off the top of my head. So how you doing, sir?
Fantastic, Jack. I mean, if you had asked any Patriot fan back in August or back when you and I did the podcast back in October that we're going to be in the Super Bowl, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, this is like this is the ultimate Cinderella story. It's even more so, I think, much more so than back in 2001, Tom's first year as a starter, because this team was like the second or third youngest team in the league that nobody saw this coming. Nobody saw this coming. And we're here, and we're going to show up. And if the game is close in the fourth quarter, watch out, Sam Darnold, because this is pointing exactly like it was 11 years ago, Jack, when we beat Seattle. We had 9 feet of snow on the ground. Right now we've got about 2.5 feet. Okay, cold as hell. I don't think it's been over 35 degrees in about 6 weeks. And that same winter, same thing, and we found a way to win that game. Everybody knows Malcolm Butler with the interception. And if I look at the two teams on paper, the Seahawks definitely have more talent. There's no question about it. But games aren't won on paper. And I think the Patriots have some intangibles that I think will be exploited in this game, especially coaching with Mike Vrabel, who's played in 4 of them, won 3 out of the 4 he played in. And Josh McDaniels, I think this is his 10th Super Bowl. And that's a huge, huge factor, I think, in this game. You can talk about all the talent you want with the Seahawks, and they do have a ton of talent on both sides of the ball, but they've never been there before. I don't think they have anyone on that coaching staff that has been there before, not with the experience that this team has.
Well, and again, you're talking about and God, I know he's a very big part of your team. And when I was it last week or 2 weeks ago when I was talking about the Coach of the Year, who I thought was going to be Coach of the Year, I took out my Tennessee straw hat, and I gave my best Tennessee accent, and I was going to say, and I'm Whiskey Jack, and I know that the Coach of the Year is that guy we fired? And it was exactly that. Mike Vrabel goes from the Tennessee Titans, gets drummed out of town, not because of, I think, just unceremoniously, and not because of anything that really he did, goes to the Patriots. When there was talk, the Ravens were saying, "Well, we're going to try it again." He was already earmarked. I mean, I'm pretty sure that as soon as he had got his walking papers, either he was on the phone with Bob Kraft or Bob Kraft was on the phone with him. I mean, it just kind of sings and rings that there was that what is it, synchronicity Sting used to talk about, that Mike Vrabel be the coach of the Patriots, and look what he did. And and I was talking about Josh McDaniels. The Patriots, in my estimation, would not be where they are were it not for Vrabel coming in, McDaniel coming in and playing all of the things that makes his offense works in New England. I'm going to caveat that. In New England, his offense works. It doesn't seem to work anywhere else, but in New England, it works with the right players and the right personality. You said Josh McDaniels, this is his 10th Super Bowl. That's amazing.
I believe it's
well,
eight or 10, Jack. I think it's 10, but it's over 8. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, and you can't buy experience like that, and that's going to be something. That's the intangible you're talking about. 8 Super Bowls. The guy's friggin' been there, and he's done that literally, and he's won most of the time.
Exactly. I know Josh McDaniels obviously is a sore spot in Raider Nation, and 100%. I can understand why. And you're right, Jack. He hasn't done anything outside of New England. He was a head coach at Denver. He's a head coach with the Raiders, assistant coach, offensive coordinator with the Rams, and he didn't have any success at either one of those stops. But with the Patriots, it's like everybody knew when we brought him back that he was the missing link. I mean, we go from Alex Van Pelt to Josh McDaniels. I mean, come on, that's like going from a Fiat to a Porsche. I mean, not even close.
And the other thing that we kind of gloss over, and this is why we were talking pregame about the new head coach. I'm doing air quotes. New head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. Remember, Josh McDaniels was coach of the Indianapolis Colts for one day.
That's right.
One day.
That's right.
And then he said, no, I'm not going to do that. So if history does not repeat itself, and we'll get into the Raiders coaching candidate and presumed coach in a minute, but that is why I feel really good, but not 100%. As a Raiders fan, you don't get excited until there's triple zeros on the clock and you have one more point than the other team. Then you're excited. But yeah, Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel, and you've been up there. What are some of the other things that made this Patriots team sing this year? That do all of the great things that they've done. I mean, it's amazing what they've done with the talent that they have.
Well, the free agent signings. I mean, Carlton Davis, the third defensive back they signed from Tennessee, huge addition. Milton Williams, who was could have been the MVP of that Super Bowl last year for the Eagles. I mean, he was nose tackle. That signing. A couple of other defensive linemen they picked up. Jeremiah Farms. The interior of that line, they already had Christian Barmore. There was a game last year against Chicago, and I know the Bears were terrible last year, as well the Patriots were too, but they sacked Caleb Williams like 10 times in that game. And there were a couple of games last year, that game specifically, where this defensive line with everybody involved, of course, they added 3 or 4 huge pieces this year, but I think the addition of Vrabel from a defensive perspective and it takes defense. You have to have a good defense to win at any level of football. And great defenses win Super Bowls. Offenses put people in the seats, and they're for television ratings. But I look no further than that Super Bowl we lost to Philadelphia in Super Bowl 52. I think the final score was like 43-38. And the following year, we played the Rams. There was like 17 punts in that game. We won 13-3. What would you rather have? Would you rather lose 45-38 and we had over 600 yards of offense? Would you rather win 13-3, which is not it's not a showcase game that people are going to sit there and and watch? I know some people that actually were bored with that game, but I look at it from a completely different perspective. Defense wins championships, and you'd rather win the Super Bowl than lose the Super Bowl. I'd much rather have the Patriots win 10-6 on Sunday than to lose 45-40.
Actually, if they win 10-6, I think one of those squares is mine. That's the other thing. I think I have a 0 and a 6. I'll have to look again. And but again, and we're talking, and you were saying, if the Patriots keep it close, okay, that's one thing I do want. And if what I want to see is more than 46 points, 46 or above. Mm-hmm. They have 46 and above total, and the Patriots keep it close. That'll work for me on a bet. Unfortunately, the other team has to win for the bet to come in. But I'm just saying, to get all of those three factors going, I can dig that. Yeah. But I actually might make a parlay with all of those things with the Patriots winning. But actually, I'll probably go under points, Patriots winning, and within the 5 points, because I think that can happen too. Because, again, the Patriots are a deceptively good defense. You were talking about all those people that came in and Vrabel coming in. You said stuff on the line. You neglected to talk about Caleb Chason, who they snagged from the Raiders.
Oh, that's
the Raiders
right.
wanted.
Yes, I forgot about
him. The Raiders
too.
wanted to keep him, but the Patriots said, "Well, you can start with us," and that was, I think, the icing on the cake. And boy, what is it? The historians looking back, rear view mirror, 2020 hindsight. Man, that was a hell of a loss. And then you also picked up Robert Spillane at linebacker, who's been fantastic for you all year. That's Raider number 2. And I think that there's a defensive back. There's a defensive back.
Carlton Davis?
No, from the Raiders that you picked up, I think, a D-back. And I can't remember who it was, but there was another player you picked up from there. I know Spillane, I know Chason, but there was is Epps on your team?
Yes, he is. Yes, Epps. Yes, he is on our team. Yes.
Okay, so there's the 3. I mean, and boy, the Raiders would love to have those guys back. But I will say this, though. I feel that those guys have put in their dues. And Spillane was a hell of a player for the Raiders. I'm sorry. I'm playing, mini GM. I said, he's a great player, but he's not worth whatever the Raiders they gave him an offer, and then the Pats gave him a better offer. And I said, I don't think he's worth that money. Now I think, okay, well, maybe he is because of all the things that he's done. Chason, I haven't seen a lot of F's, but he's a good extra piece for that defense. And again, it has to be Vrabel putting it all together. Who is your DC, if I might add?
Defensive coordinator, it's Terrell Williams. But matter of fact, I just saw it today. He was he had prostate, and he's been out for like week 3. I placed him. He was a linebacker. I remember his name, but Terrell Williams, the team today. That was on the ESPN 10-minute ticker. He's in Santa Clara, and I assume he'll be on the sidelines. It skips I can't think of the guy's name, but he took over. He's our linebacker coach. I can't think of his name.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where as long as you're in the building and you know what your boss has been doing, next man up also applies to coaching staffs, and
Oh,
you can see
absolutely.
that the Patriots are doing that next man. It's important.
Yeah, and I think the key to this game.
I tell you, Mark, I am probably it's probably on my end. I probably got too many windows up, so I'm going to get rid of a couple of. I have a bad habit. I'm working on things, and then there's just way too many windows.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's because that I have too many freaking windows up. So I'll get rid of some of these, and hopefully that will alleviate some of the problem. Uh, let's see here. Yeah. Once I apologize. I should have done this a little bit earlier, but can
Okay,
you hear me now a lot better,
oh,
or is
sure.
it
Yeah, absolutely.
is
You're a lot
it
better.
okay?
Yeah, I
Good,
can
good.
I can
Now I got okay. There we go. So anyway, and Ed says the only reason he's going to watch is for Bad Bunny's political remarks. Ed, unless he speaks in English, you're not gonna understand what the hell he's saying. Okay, because he does all this stuff in. So I'm not. I'm just saying. But the Patriots are there. You expect. You expect now. I mean, I no homerism allowed. But you're thinking that the Patriots can actually, like you said, if it's a close game, the Patriots, in your estimation, will win in the end.
Well, here's the thing, Jack. This particular Super Bowl, the Patriots are going into it with house money. I mean, we could get our ass kicked 35-0, and what are people going to say? Well, we won 4 games last year, and that's where I think they had to beat Denver, especially when Knicks went down. Because if they lost to Denver with Jared Stidham, this area, the talk show, they would be lambasting the Patriots for 5 or 6 months about losing to Jared Stidham. And I think that's unfortunate. That's the way the world is today in sports. The fact that we're in the Super Bowl, and like I said, we could get blown out. I do not think we will. But the Patriots playing with house money. And I think that makes them very dangerous. The fact that they had an 18-20 run of dominance, winning 6 Super Bowls. If I'm Seattle, if I'm a Seahawks fan, I don't want to play this team. And because no one expected us to be there. And I think a lot of the country thinks we're going to get blown out. That's why I think the coaching of Vrabel, the coaching of McDaniels, and us against the world, that mantra, chip on your shoulder type thing. When Vrabel played, he had a chip on his shoulder. When he coaches, he has a chip on his shoulder. He's a great guy, but he's got a chip. And that's the way this team has played the entire year. The first playoff game, we heard about the Chargers defense for 2 weeks, okay? Bye-bye San Diego, bye-bye LA. We heard about Houston's defense for a week after that. Bye-bye Texans. Heard about the Broncos defense. And now we're sitting at the top of the mountain representing the AFC. And guess what? The Patriots have a damn good defense too. And I think the entire team, especially that defensive front, they've taken on a chip on their shoulder. People don't think we're that good. Well, guess what? We are good, and we're on the biggest stage there is, in the biggest game. And let's see what happens. And I think that could play a big part. Do I expect them to win? Yes and no. But if the game is close in the fourth quarter, I think they will win. Does that make is that,
And
is
I, and
that, is
I
that a
can,
good answer for you?
yeah, no, I mean, that's why I said I can see that because it's all about doing obviously getting the right feel, right time, and I can see that happening. And again, I'm probably going to make a bet where it's the low scoring. I'll take the under. I'll take the Pats. and I'll take it within. Obviously, if they win, you get the points on whatever you did because they'd win. So
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that. Well, Ed said, why will they win if close? Ed is just saying that he thinks, or I'm sorry, Mark, can you go back over that again? Is it if it's a close game in the fourth quarter, you think the Patriots will win because of why?
I think the Patriots will win if it's a close game in the fourth quarter, because I think the key to this game is shutting down the Seahawks running game and Kenneth Walker. If the Patriots can shut down Kenneth Walker, I think they can really do some damage on Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold, okay, he had a great season last year with the Vikings. They were 15-2. Okay, he had a great season this year with the Seahawks. The kid can play. There's no doubt about that. There's no question about that. Former number 1 pick of the New York Jets. But I think one of the huge factors that's not being discussed enough is the fact that the two teams the Seahawks beat in the postseason were two teams they see every year, the 49ers and the Rams. They don't see the Patriots. Last year, the Seahawks came up to Foxborough. Obviously, Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback, and I can't remember who the quarterback. But yeah, Geno Smith was the quarterback for Seattle in that game. And they beat us in overtime, but the Patriots went toe-to-toe with them. Two completely different teams now. I'm not trying to compare anything with that, but I think the Patriots' defensive line and the fact that Sam Darnold has never beaten the Patriots, and he didn't have any success in the AFC East, and he's playing a completely different animal. Not to discredit the 49ers or the Rams, but the Patriots in the AFC East, the AFC plays a different type of football than the NFC, and I think it's more of a street brawl. You're not going to have the wide openness that you talked about. You think it's going to be a low-scoring game. The Rams have probably the best offense in the National Football League, and the 49ers, obviously, the Seahawks completely destroyed them in that game. But another different animal too. Their defense is tremendous, but it's a different type of football. And the NFC is more wide open, and the AFC is more of a street fight.
I agree.
If it's a street fight, I think the Patriots. If it comes down to a street fight, I think the Patriots, much like they did 24 years ago against the Rams, Super Bowl 36, when we shut down the greatest show on turf. That was the Patriots turned that into a backyard brawl, and until the fourth quarter, the Rams had done nothing. They were down 17-3. They came back to tie the game up, but the Patriots prevailed in the end, and that tremendous last-second drive with Brady and Vinatieri hitting the 48-yard field goal. I think this could be the same type of a game.
And I tell people this as well. I said, if Adam Vinatieri doesn't make the Hall of Fame, because people talk about Sebastian Janikowski, who's a very, very good kicker, but Adam Vinatieri himself is one of the reasons why the Patriots won, I believe, 2 of their Super Bowls, because the offense kept it close, and Vinatieri came in and won at least 2 of the Super Bowls. Obviously, the Patriots won on that defensive turnover by the kid that intercepted the pass with the Seahawks.
Malcolm Butler, yeah.
Malcolm Butler. So that's 3, and the Patriots have 6. So 3 of the 6 Super Bowls were decided by Vinatieri's leg and Malcolm Butler's pick. So there, you got half of your wins because of other people, not Tom Brady.
That's right. And we beat Philadelphia in Super Bowl 39. Game had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. That was a tough game. That game was closer than Rodney Harrison accepted Donovan McNabb late in that game, but the Eagles were just had a shot to win, but they really didn't. It was like they had 40 seconds left and back on their own 10-yard line. The Patriots had pretty much dictated that whole fourth quarter, and McNabb was junk in the second half of that game. But yeah, you're right. He was responsible. Our defense was. I think the defense won the Philadelphia Super Bowl. Vinatieri won against Carolina and against the Rams, obviously. And Malcolm Butler's miraculous play in Super Bowl 49, which to me may have been the biggest single play in the history of sports. I mean, think about that. They're on the 1 yard line, and Pete Carroll decides to throw the ball with Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. I will never understand that call. Am I happy he did? Absolutely. But you know, that was a real screw up on his part. I completely think the Seahawks dropped the ball in that game, and a lot of people do too.
Well, technically, they didn't drop the ball. They just threw the ball, and Malcolm Butler did not drop it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I was playing with the pun. I am not a fan of Pete Carroll, but I'm going to say, until I hear otherwise, that was Darren Bevel's call. And he's the one that lost that Super Bowl, because he's the one that took the ball literally out of the hands of Marshawn on a handoff and threw it by Russell Wilson trying to hit. I don't even know. It's immaterial who the friggin' receiver was. It doesn't matter who the receiver was. It should have went from Russell Wilson to Marshawn Lynch in the gut for a touchdown. And that's just the way it is. The Patriots win 28-24. And I mean, the Seahawks could be twice Super Bowl champions because of that. Pete Carroll could be a two-time Super Bowl champion, except that he's a one-time Super Bowl champion and a disgraced coach of my Las Vegas Raiders. So there's all of these little twists and turns. You talk about Geno Smith last year playing against Jacoby Brissett. That's long gone. That's long gone. And folks, if you're not paying attention, Mark is wearing the hat of Super Bowl 49 on his head. That call, that Super Bowl win by the Patriots is on Mark's head. I noticed it immediately.
Thank you, Jack. No, you're absolutely right. It's not Geno Smith against Jacoby Brissett. And you and I talked when we were on back in the fall in October, and I left the stadium that day when we ran into each other, and I was with Kayla, and I thought leaving that game, I thought the Raiders. I mean, this sounds ridiculous now, but I thought they were going to. They looked like a team that was on the rise, and I left that game saying they just came up here and beat the Patriots in a game which I thought they controlled the entire second half. There was nothing fluky about that. The Raiders came in here and they won that game, and to have the season they had, I mean, I was completely. I mean, from a Raiders perspective, you have to be completely disgusted with the Pete Carroll situation, and I actually felt embarrassed for him because I think he hurt his legacy a little bit. But you and I were talking off air about a month ago, and I know there was some underlying factors with some coaches and the coaching staff there, and it was just like, they completely fell off the tracks, and I feel bad for Raider Nation. I really do, because I thought Pete Carroll was a good hire, and obviously he was a complete disaster. I'm not going to say in over his head, but I think the game is maybe the game hasn't passed him by, but I think he's too nice, and I think that rah mentality it doesn't work anymore. Obviously.
Well, actually, I'll agree with you on those points. The too nice part, I'll say he is so nice that he brings in his two sons to play important roles on a team, and it's not called for. Our offensive line was out the window, has got zero teaching from Brendan Carroll. The whole year was wasted. And I will say this, though, I don't know about the Pete Carroll being nice thing. I mean, you know him a lot better than I do, Mark, but the one thing I can talk about is that when Pete was looking for his second scapegoat, he fires Chip Kelly when he was putting his thumb on Chip Kelly's offense the entire year, where Chip Kelly was basically not calling Chip Kelly's offense. It was a Chip Kelly offense as modified by Pete Carroll. And that's a problem.
Yeah, no, I agree, and Pete, and personally, he's a very nice guy. He was coached there for 3 years. My father liked him. You know, my dad was broadcasting the games. He liked Pete a lot. He's a good guy, and obviously he was a hell of a coach, college. And but when you told me, we talked off air before the season ended, and I didn't know his two sons were on the coaching staff, and you told me that, and I said, oh. Yeah, and you know, I said, I don't, you know, I didn't think he was going to be let go, but when you told me that, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's an accident waiting to happen, and you know, I don't, you know, Belichick's sons, they both had experience coaching in college before they came to the Patriots. I don't know the background of Pete Carroll's sons, but uh, you know, either sometimes that's going to work in your favor, or sometimes that's going to come back to bite you in the ass. And unfortunately for Pete, the Raiders were just uh, a mess this year. And I think you know, the NFL is better when the Raiders are good, just like Major League Baseball is better when the Yankees are good. The Cowboys are good in the NFL. I'm a New York Ranger fan in hockey. I'd say when the Rangers are good, the NHL is better. You're a Flyer fan, same thing. Organizations that are despised because they've had success makes it better theater. And I know when the Raiders were on top, obviously, you know, you and I can go on and on and on about the 70s, but it was everybody hated the silver and black. Why? Because they took your head off and they won. And it didn't matter at what cost. And I think the league is a lot better when the Raiders are successful. I know I speak the truth with that because that's true. That's 100% true, Jack.
Yeah,
Right?
and folks, for those who don't remember when we had Mark on before, Mark, if you could please give a background, your background and your family history, so people understand why you go way back with the Patriots and why you go way back with your involvement with the Raiders, to include the first Super Bowl that you went to with your father.
Well, my father, Jack, was the Patriots radio play-by-play announcer from 1966 to 66 to 79, and then from 91 to 2012. Actually, 66 to 70, he was a color commentator, but he was on their broadcast for almost 40 years. And my dad broadcast games in the AFL. My dad broadcast numerous games in the Oakland Coliseum. My dad broadcast that 76 playoff game with the Raiders. I've been around pro football since I was about 3. I grew up around sports, especially the National Football League. I've seen 8 Super Bowls, about 500 Patriot games. I've known countless players over the years. Jim Plunkett, former Raider, Brian Holloway, former Raider. They both played with the Patriots. I knew the late Morris Bradshaw. I know the history of obviously Al Davis, and I know what he meant to the NFL. And like I tell you before, and I'll always say this: it'll always be a soft spot in my heart for the Oakland Raiders, no matter what you want to call them, Oakland, LA, or Las Vegas. And I go back to what you and I talked about with Darryl and Jack, an unfortunate incident, Darryl Stingley and Jack Tatum, but Al Davis and John Madden, they looked after Darryl for about 2 or 3 weeks until he was able to fly home to Boston. And that says an awful lot about that organization. You know, you can talk about all the cheap shots and this and that. That was football back then. But to me, the Oakland Raiders organization, Las Vegas Raiders organization, always run first class and always will be run first class. I know they're not that good right now, but I have a passion for football. I've been around it my whole life, and especially the AFC. And my roots go back to, I was 4 years old, but the old AFL. Yeah, you know, it's It was a long time ago, but my roots also go back to Joe Namath when the AFL won that first Super Bowl. I had a chance to meet Namath on numerous occasions, and I don't forget the American Football League and what it meant to what it means to a lot of older fans like yourself and I. That they've come a long way. The AFC's come a long way, Jack, a long way.
And folks, I will say this. Mark is a couple years older than me. I just look a hell of a lot older than him. Okay. Because he looks, he's definitely more in shape. He doesn't have as much of a belly as I do. He doesn't have the nasty ass beard. His hair is a little longer, but not like this long. And that is why we're gonna see a beautiful lady on screen later. Get ready, Kayla, because you're coming on pretty soon later. So just be ready. But yeah, Mark is an older, distinguished, debonair gentleman with a lot of history, a lot of knowledge. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that you talk about Al Davis and John Madden and taking care of Darryl Stingley while he was still out in Oakland because he couldn't travel. When the Patriots went back from that game, he couldn't travel. So his family was out in Oakland, and Davis and Madden took care of Darryl Stingley's family. And these are things that a lot of people don't know about. Hell, Al Davis is the man that took care of the funeral of the great Kansas City Chief. What is his name? When he died. Al Davis took care of Derek Thomas. Thank you. I knew I would get it.
Yeah,
Al Davis took care of Derek Thomas's funeral. This is the Kansas City Chief folk, and these are things that are not known by the quote unquote common folk. So Al Davis took care of those, and it was such amazing man. And I'm very sorry that we don't have that yet in the building, but maybe it's coming. Maybe that the falling snowflakes of good times are coming to Vegas finally with Mark Davis figuring out that you need a general manager that actually runs the effing team, that there is a Super Bowl winning owner in the house, actually 2 Super Bowl winning owners in the house, because remember, Richard Seymour is also a minority owner of the Raiders along with TV12. So maybe that winningness will go through with them. And no matter what, we're going to get a lot better. We can see it. Go ahead, sir.
But not to interrupt you, Jack, but getting back to what you said about Al Davis, he took care of a lot of players' funerals over the years. I don't know who in particular, but I know for a fact he did. And that speaks a lot about who he was. And I mean, that team had so much cachet. I mean, back in the 70s, I mean, it was just, I mean, you had Snake Stabler, Villapiano, Lester Hayes, Atkinson, Bolitnikoff. It was, I told someone the other day, I was talking about that Super Bowl, and I'll tell you a story. And I told you this the time you had me on. My dad my dad was covering the game for WBZ radio at the game with my dad, my mother, and my sister. We were there for 2 weeks. And Ray Guy, great Ray Guy, the late great Ray Guy, had his first punt blocked. The Vikings recover. They're inside the 5-yard line. First 3 cracks, first 3 downs, they didn't get anything. I think they gained a yard, maybe 2. My father looks at me. It's 4th and goal at the 1, or 4th and goal at the 2. It was inside the 5. My father looks at me. He says, Mark, if the Raiders stop them here, they're going to kick their ass. And I said, Dad, he said, Mark, trust me. If the Raiders stop the Vikings here, this game is over. And the Raiders stuffed them, and Snake went right down the field, throwing to Casper, throwing to Bolitnikoff, Van Egan, left, right, Clarence Davis. And before you know it, I think they were up like 28-0, and the Vikings had no shot. And I look back at that Super Bowl, and I look back at the one when they beat the Eagles too, because you have the Vikings coming in, Bud Grant, crew cut, everybody be in bed, curfew, blah, 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 blah. Same thing with Vermeil, be in at this time. The Raiders, come on. I mean, the Jack on the John Madden and the Tom Flores. Come in whenever the hell you want to come in. And if you didn't go to bed last night, who gives a shit? And just come out and play. Am I right, Jack? And that's the way, that's the swag they had. In the Dallas Cowboys had that in certain Super Bowls. The Pittsburgh Steelers did. And I say to some extent, even the Patriots. I mean, they not in the same realm as the Raiders in the 70s, but it's a team that comes in there that's loose, that's been there before, that feels like, we're not intimidated. John Matuzak in Super Bowl 15 against the Eagles. Legend has it that I don't think he went to bed for a week on the French Quarter along with Alzado, and they kicked the crap out of the Eagles. So it's like, you can look at it one of two ways. You can come in and be all business, or you can come in and just go out there and do what you do. And you don't have to tell these guys what to do. You don't have to fire these guys up. It's a Super Bowl. If you're not fired up to play in the Super Bowl, if you're not fired up to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs, there's a problem.
True. I want to say this before I forget. You were talking about John Matuszak, and
yes.
For those that didn't get a chance to see, actually the last 2 weekends. This past weekend, I was in Orlando with Orlando Raider Nation on a broadcast where we were paying a tribute while he's still alive, Coach Tom Flores. And unfortunately, John wasn't there, but his sister, Karen Matuszak, was in Orlando with us. So she represented John in that broadcast. And go back and look it up for the Flores broadcast, where literally Raider Nation everywhere made tribute, giving flowers to the coach as needed. And it was nice to see that Karen Matuszak was there to represent John. But I told that story to tell this one, as that old comedian said. I can't remember which one said that. I told that story to tell this one. 2 weeks ago on a weekend, I'm watching the AFC Championship game in El Paso, Texas. I'm watching it with none other than, I don't know if you can see that, Lester Hayes.
Lester Hayes, yes.
He was down there, and we were doing the event for Los Rudos, which is one of the Raider clubs in one of their activities. And Lester, and I'm talking with Lester, and I'm talking with Ira Matthews, and I'm being me, talking behind the scene. And Lester Hayes told me something that I will never forget in a great way. He goes, "Jack, you know who you remind me of? You remind me of Tuszak." And I'm like, wow. I mean, it's a compliment. It's a compliment. It's a you party like John. I don't party like John Matuszak, or I would be dead at this point, because John Matuszak definitely puts me to shame. But the fact that Lester Hayes told me that your demeanor, you remind me just of like John Matuszak, and I'm like, that I will always remember that remark that Lester Hayes gave me, that I reminded him of too. So I will take that with me for a long time, and for Lester Hayes to say that was great. And of course, to have his represent last weekend as well. So yeah, I'm a party animal like Tuszak.
Yeah, I had a chance to him and Alzado back in '79. It was after a preseason game against the Patriots, and Alzado and Matuszak are walking up the ramp. And back in the '70s, I mean, the fans approached the players. They were getting ready to get on the bus. It was the summertime, and I remember Matuszak. He asked me to hold his bag. He said, "Pal, you want to hold my bag for me?" And I said he was taking pictures with some girls, and him and Alzado were, just being themselves. And I talked to him for like 3 or 4 minutes. Talked to Lyle, and I remember what Matuzak was saying. He wanted to get some lobster somewhere, but he was dressed. What the hell he had on like a white sequin jumpsuit on, his whole midriff showing, the white clogs. I mean, it was John Matuzak was he's a legendary character. Uh, one of the all-time characters, not only in the National Football League but in all of professional sports. And he was a hell of a player, Jack. I mean, yeah, could he have been better? Yeah, but he partied his ass off, and he played his ass off too. And same thing with Lyle. Both those guys together, that was like a gasoline in a match.
The great, and may both of them rest in peace, because they were taken from us way too early. So
way too soon. Yes, I agree, 100%.
And I was going to say you've talked about a lot of the guys that you've had the interaction with. Now, for those who don't know, Mark works at the stadium, and boy, I gotta go visit one of these days where you work. You work at the within Gillette. There is basically the store for the Patriots store, and
I work at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh man, I gotta go there. So
yeah, come up sometime. No, it's a great place. It's a great take, and I mean, this team's been a huge part of my life. I've seen it all. I've seen the good, the bad, the real good, and the real bad. And the NFL's been a big part of my life too, a huge part of my life. This is a.
Well,
Oh, go ahead, Jack. Sorry.
No. Please continue. There's that little bit of a lag, and I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I'm just going to say, in some ways, this week has been tough for me the last 7 or 8 years, because my dad is no longer with us, and some of my greatest memories of being with my dad are at Super Bowls, and I think you and I are around the same age. I'm a couple of years older than you, but those old Super Bowls, the old highlights with John Facenda, and the Dolphins of the 70s and the Raiders. And, that's, I have a sense of that history, and we all watched those Super Bowls, both you and I, and I watched a lot of those games with my dad. First Super Bowl I ever watched was the Dolphins' undefeated season in '72, when they beat the Redskins. And I had the pleasure of going to 8 Super Bowls, and 7 of them with my dad. He didn't go to Super Bowl 20 when we get rocked by Chicago, because my dad was a television voice for the Boston Celtics for about 13 years, and he was calling the Celtics games in that period where he didn't call the Patriots. But yeah, it's in some ways it's kind of melancholy for me. And I remember the year after he passed, they won that Super Bowl. And everybody was telling me they're going to win it for Gil. My dad had passed away that April, and a lot of people didn't expect them to have a successful playoff run, and they did. And eight years later, here we are again. And I know my dad's somewhere looking down with Gino Cappelletti and all the former old Patriots that are no longer with us, and they're smiling, and hopefully we have the last laugh again.
Now, I want to bring up, and I kind of alluded to it in pregame, your thoughts and the thoughts of basically the entire northeastern corridor. First off, Bill Belichick does not get in on his first try, which raises some. I mean, I think that raised more eyebrows than hearing that Robert Kraft didn't get. I mean, because honestly, okay. Owner, yeah. I mean, Robert Kraft was involved with all of those winning franchises. But for Bill Belichick, who is the second highest winningest coach in the National Football League, not to get in, I mean, come on, man. Anything that has a gate behind it is not a good thing. Watergate, Spygate, Deflategate. I get it. But, when the Raiders are saying things, it's just win, baby. And even John Madden said it himself. Yeah, we cheat. What are you going to do about it? I mean, that's a direct quote from John Madden. So If you're improvising and you do things a little bit better, which makes you win. I mean, friggin' Tom Brady knows that those balls are deflated. Yes, I know that's a pun there. That's a joke ready to happen with Tom Brady and deflated balls. I get it. But if he has a ball that's a little bit under inflated so he can grip it better and throw it down the field, of course he's going to use it to his advantage. But the point is that you use the advantages to your betterment, and he won. Brady won.
Exactly.
And Belichick won. And why are they not in the Hall of Fame? I'm sorry, folks. I mean, Mark knows this. I called the Patriots the Cheatriots because of that. I admit it. I'm not glossing over that fact. But the point is that they won. And it's like, you got to remember that the bottom line was, did you get a W or did you get an L? And to me, Bill Belichick not being in the Hall of Fame on the first ballot is beyond effing ridiculous. And and they said, well, maybe it was because they wanted to have Kraft be in first. Okay, well, he didn't get in. Well, and you're not going to tell me that Bill Belichick better be in next year. And I don't care if Robert Kraft makes it next year or not, but Bill Belichick better be in next year. I'm just saying that.
Well, the big thing up here is Bill Polian and Tony Dungy apparently went around. That's what we're hearing up here is that they basically told all the voters, don't vote for Belichick. And Polian was the GM, Dungy was the coach, and Polian bitched, and Dungy did too after we beat them in the AFC Championship game up here in the snow in 2003. And we intercepted Manning 4 times, and Eugene Wilson and Rodney Harrison and Ty Law, they just basically opened up a can of whoop ass on Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison and Dallas Clark and can't think of the other receiver on the team, but they didn't like it. The Colts, Polian went to the league and said you can't have all these chucks after 5 yards. I mean, they were beating the crap out of them as they, going down the line of scrimmage, running pass patterns, and that's why the NFL changed that rule, was because Bill Polian bitched because the Patriots punched the Colts in the mouth and took his playmakers, basically made them invisible in that game, and he has an axe to grind with the organization, and Tony Dungy does too. And as far as I'm concerned, what did Tony Dungy and Bill Polian win? One Super Bowl, and they played the Bears. I mean, come on. Okay, please. The Colts were a good team, but they're not anywhere near in the same class as the Patriots. And it's sour grapes. And I agree with you 100%, Jack. And Christ's sakes, you had LeBron James come on. You had Patrick Mahomes come on. You had all kinds of sports people and people outside the sports saying, how the hell does this coach, Bill Belichick, the second winningest coach in the history of the game, with 6 Super Bowls under his resume, and I'll quote Belichick. He said, apparently, well, I guess 6 Super Bowls isn't enough. I mean, come on. You're right, Jack. Did we do some things underhanded? Yeah, we did. Okay, but we won, and you take advantage of what you can get away with, and they did. What the hell's the big deal?
Well, I'm thinking, and it was put up, I think Navman said the same thing. He said, okay, you have the coach that's pulled from the first ballot, okay? You have the owner that's pulled from the first ballot. If Tom Brady does not make it on the first ballot, then we know for a fact this is the entire NFL saying the Patriots, there it is. I mean, they're going to get in eventually. But if Brady doesn't get in on the first ballot, that's their way of saying, yeah, you're not getting in on the first ballot. You'll get in, but you're not going to have that prestige of getting in on the first ballot. I understand it. I don't agree with it. I mean, I can see it a little bit more. I mean, Belichick should be in my estimation. And, if Kraft doesn't get in, okay. Well, maybe it's because he also spends a lot of time in massage parlors down in, South Florida. I'm just saying, okay. By the way, it's called the Wild Orchid. and it's in Stewart. Not that I know for a fact. I know the name of it. Okay, check it out, Wild Orchid down in Stewart. But yeah, I know I'm making you. I bet Kayla's probably blushing too because I know the massage parlor.
I'm not going to say anything. Mr. Kraft was great to my father. He's been great to me. Belichick the same. Don't
jeopardize your job. That's just me being me. Me being.
But I think what you just said about Brady. Now, having Tom Brady, if he doesn't get in in the first ballot, that's like saying, okay, we're not going to induct Babe Ruth, Wayne Gretzky, Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on and on. Gordie Howe. I mean, come on. That is such absolute BS. That if Brady doesn't get in, then you're absolutely right, Jack. The whole country hates us, and I think outside of the Northeast, outside of New England, we've been hearing rumblings up here for the last 2 or 3 weeks. The whole country hates us again because we're back in the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? Tough shit.
I got you. And I actually, it's hard because it's refreshing that I don't think I've even sworn this entire show. I don't think so. It's refreshing that the fucking Chiefs are sitting at home. It's refreshing. Refreshing. Now, here's the thing, though.
Oh, I love it, Jack. Hard. That was beautiful.
Yeah. But see, as Raider fans, and actually this is why most people are against the Patriots. And I like you personally, when it comes to, like the person, don't like the team or stuff like that, right? It's the fact that if the Patriots win, you will now hold the most Super Bowl title with 7. And that's what they're rooting against.
Oh, yes. And well, yeah, and being a Raider fan that you are, who's going to bitch the most? Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers fans are going to bitch the most. And I got to say, out of all the fan bases of sports, that's probably the most obnoxious. I'll go a step further, even worse than the Eagles fans, because the Steelers think they're entitled. I have no problem with the Eagles fans. I know you're from Philly. I have no problem with any Philadelphia sports fans. I don't have any problem, really. Jets fans can be jerks and Miami Dolphins fans, but the Steelers fans, oh my God, they just absolutely obnoxious to the point where we played them in the AFC Championship game up here in Foxborough 10 years ago, and they thought they were going to take over. They took over 3 or 4 different sports bars up here in Patriot Place, waving their towels, waving the banners. Yeah, okay, and we kicked their ass. So, they're extremely. Not that I'm not begrudging them for rooting for the team. They're a great organization, but the fans are just so damn arrogant. Because the Patriots, let's face it, we were a joke for almost as many years as the Steelers were. The Steelers up until 72 were an absolute laughing stock. They were a joke. They sucked. They were one of the worst teams in all of sports. Same with the Patriots. And I don't forget that. But I think a lot of those Steeler fans forget where they came from. I don't forget where this team came from because I know, I'll never laugh at another fan base because you got to stick with your team no matter how bad they are. That's a sign of a true fan. And I'll even go as far as to say that there's a small part of me that still
Mark, I was going to say, is it me or were you blinking out or was I blinking out?
I think you may have blinked out. I think.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't hear from you and you didn't hear from me, so apologies here. When I get all of my most of those windows that are up, it's all for financial shit. I just got to get my stuff done.
Yeah.
For you get that, and I apologize, but yeah. And it's agreed. I want to say this. Navman gives a question. Have any coaches or owners made the Hall of Fame on the first ballot? I would probably say that Papa Bear Hallis did. I don't know if that's true, but I would think that George Halas made the Hall of Fame on his first ballot. You can look it up. I'm not looking it up. I'm just thinking if anybody deserves it in the first ballot, it's Papa Bell Harris. And also Curly Lambeau. Yeah,
Yes.
that guy, the one that the field is named after. I'm pretty sure he made it on the first ballot. Just
and
to guess.
I think Wellington Mara did too. Wellington Mara, the Mara family from the New York Giants, I think he made it in the first ballot too. And I mean, the Giants had some tremendous teams in the 60s and 50s and 60s. Yeah, I mean, it's all sour grapes. And Mr. Kraft will get into. I mean, obviously he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. No question about it. It's but hey, if we win the Super Bowl, maybe Vrabel will use that in the locker room speech too. Well, the whole country hates us. They just denied our legendary coach who I played for, won 3 Super Bowls under him, getting in the Hall of Fame. To just prevented our owner from getting in the Hall of Fame. So let's go out there with even more of a chip on our shoulders, and I think that will work to the Patriots' advantage. I know that's the way that's the way we all feel up here. Let's just shut everybody up.
We're true. And again, I tell you, I'm glad that we had it. We've spoken for an hour about the Super Bowl, about the Patriots, about great NFL people, and we didn't even touch on, and then now we're going to touch on. Okay, you said that you have some information or things that you would like to espouse about Clint Kubiak, who is possibly going to be the Raiders' next head coach. Anything you want to spread the wealth on Clint Kubiak would be wonderful.
Well, I think his father was a very successful coach with the Houston Texans. Gary Kubiak. He comes from a great football background. And I think the Raiders need an offensive-minded coach. Obviously, they have to go out and find themselves a quarterback. But I think that would be a great hire for that organization. I really do. I think, he comes from a winning pedigree. I think his dad won 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos. His dad didn't win it as a player, but I believe he won 2 under Coach Shanahan. I think Gary Kubiak was their offensive coordinator. So. The kid comes from a good football stock, and I think that would be a great hire for the Raiders. I really do. I don't have any inside information on if it's going to be official, but I think that would be a great hire. I really do.
Yeah, and see, that was what I alluded to earlier with the Josh McDaniels being the coach for a day with the Indianapolis Colts. I said. And you put it right on the head. And I've been saying this for about 2 or 3 weeks now. I said, if Clint Kubiak, who is the son of Gary Kubiak, who played with the Broncos as the backup quarterback to John Elway, who was coached by Mike Shanahan, and Kubiak, who also was a coordinator under Shanahan's son over in the Niners, I'm sure he is hearing all of this stuff in the year about how bad the Raiders are. F the Raiders this, F the Raiders that, F the Raiders. So that is why I'm of a mind that until I see it, and it's more than 24 hours later, because I'm going to go back to the Josh McDaniels saying, yeah, I don't really want this. But hopefully it'll happen. I hope it's going to happen, and I'm until it does, I'm just waiting for it. Now, I don't want to take you away from the activities. It's already 7:00 on the East Coast. So anything else you want to say, and then we're going to bring in the wonderful lady that helps you get you on camera. So without further ado, Mark, go ahead and give your last testimonial and bring in the lady that helps you out to bring in these subjects where you can be on screen and and all those good things. If I do this right, whoop, that's the wrong one. I'm trying to make it so that you're bigger than I am. There you go.
Well,
go ahead.
I just hope that the Patriots represent themselves. I hope we don't get blown out. And let me tell you, if this team wins a Super Bowl, it's going to be absolutely crazy around here for the next 6, 7, 8 months. I mean, are we going back to another dynasty? I can't say that. Is Drake May Tom Brady? No, he's not. But it's amazing that this team is rebuilt and they're back in the Super Bowl in 2 years. And let the chips fall where they may. And all the best to Raider Nation. And I know there's better days ahead for the Las Vegas Raiders. And like I said a few minutes ago, Jack, about a half hour ago, the NFL is much better when the Raiders are successful. And I know you would agree to that. All of Raider Nation would agree to that. It's something about the mystique, the autumn wind. It's whether they're Oakland, LA, or Las Vegas. I can't call them. I have a tough time calling them Las Vegas Raiders, but I wish them all the best. I really do. I hope they're back on top. I don't want them to beat us, but I have a soft spot in my heart for the Raiders. I root for the Raiders, except when they're playing the Patriots.
I appreciate that, Mark. And folks, for the wonderful lady that helped out Mark, get him on the broadcast. If Miss Kayla can pop in real quick, I would appreciate it. This way we can all give you some flowers as well.
Oh, hi.
There she is.
Yeah. I tell her she looks like Marlo Thomas, Jack, a little bit from that girl. Of course, I'm dating myself, but back in the 60s.
Yeah, go ahead and look it up, Kayla. Marlo Thomas,
Oh, I did that.
There you go. Yes. I was going to say thank you for all that you've done helping us out. And what a wonderful lady that you are. Hopefully I can get up there. And I was going to say this in the spring or summer. So this way I don't have to freeze in New England for a winter. And we do play you next year again. So hopefully it'll be, we play the Patriots in New England. So okay. I'm going to try to make the trip up there again to see you guys. And hopefully it's early enough where I can catch a Red Sox game and the Patriots up there as well. I think we'd have a great time.
I appreciate that, Jack, and I'm looking forward to that. And the Patriots and Raiders, two of the original AFL teams. It's a great rivalry, a historic rivalry, a hated rivalry for a long time. But I have nothing but the utmost respect for the Silver and Black. Always have and always will. And I appreciate you having me on the show. It's an honor for me to be on your show with all these former Raider players and Raider Nation. I can't thank you enough, and I look forward to coming on again, Jack.
Okay, well, Mark, again, we appreciate you being here, and best to you and Kayla. Go eat something. It's 7:00. It's time for dinner. It's a little past, but it's time for dinner. But I appreciate you coming on and sharing your time with both of us. In fact, if I do this right again, maybe I can. Is that the one? There you go. This way I see a big picture of you and only a small picture of me, and then everybody's on camera. Still a little bit of a lag. It's probably me.
I think that's
but
right.
I don't know.
Mark, can you hear me? Or Kayla? No, it's not it yet. Are you guys there? Still there? Okay. Well. Boy, that was upsetting. But yeah, I didn't. I guess I lost them. I'll have to call him back. Mark Santos with the Patriots again. Son of Gil Santos. I'm gonna put my phone back on again. I was upsetting that we lost him at the end. Let me go here, and I'm gonna text him. Yeah, I swear I did. Here, I say, I swear I didn't. I swear I didn't bump you guys. Oh well, but hey, at least they know. And I truly appreciate Mark Santos and Miss Kayla for being here. If you want to talk about anything about the, yeah, it can't get much worse. Thank you for that. It definitely it can't be get much worse. If you want to come into the show, let's see if I can. If that there you go. That's there it is. Because I got some time. It's a little bit. It's a little bit past. It's a little bit past what 7:15, and yeah. If you want to come in, I saw that we had Ed Winchell, we got Jack Kenna, we've had Navman, Jack Westafeste, Willie Wayne, a couple other people. I'm hoping that the Raiders definitely make the call if they haven't already. Make the call for Clint Kubiak and make it official. Because here's the other thing. I can't see it, but it would be a great big egg salad crapola on the face of the franchise if Clint Kubiak doesn't take the job. That would be horrible. That link does not work. Okay. Hang on again. Let me do this. Hang on. Thank you for that. There we go. You want to come into the show, hit the link. See if that one works. Hopefully that looks like the same link. That looks like the same link. I don't know why, but at least maybe it's because it's all that talking with it. So come on. Hey, Kenna, you got 12 minutes. Come on in quick. There you go. Navman's in. Good to see you. Hopefully we can get Kenna in here as well.
Hold on. 1 sec.
Okay.
1 sec.
Okay. Navman says 1 sec. Okay.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Sorry.
I'm good. No worries. No worries. Yeah, I got you. And I'm glad you came in. Hopefully we can get Ken in here before he has to go on Wild Wild West. Kenna, I will say, I'm sorry, Navman, 12 minutes before he goes on Wild Wild West. I forgot that you have taken over for. Yeah, I apologize. I forgot. Tell Richie and DZ I said hello.
Oh, they're great people, man. There's no question. You know, a lot of Raider fans be like, "Why are you on there?" I'm like, "Because they're good people, dude. They put their pants on the same way we do, you know." And we talk about it. We're the worst critics of our own teams, and that's an important thing. So, you know, I'm going to tell you the bad stuff before I tell you the good stuff. You know, so it's one of those. And Kenna was the same way. I'm going to tell you the bad stuff before I tell you the good stuff. And I'll tell you what, there's going to be an interesting. Kubiak comes over. There's an interesting name, and I'm not gonna give it to you.
No, don't give it to me. Don't give it to me.
Interesting
Go
name
ahead.
that's going to come with him. DZ's not going to like it much. I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, see that's a hint. That's a hint.
It is. It's a hint.
Okay. I would like that. If DZ don't like it, then I think that coach defense as well as Robert, the Gargler fan would probably not like it either. I'm just saying.
Just saying. I mean, probably not. Probably
Okay.
not.
Well, I will because you know what I did for all those years. If you want to keep it to yourself, fine, or you want to tell me in the auspices and I won't say anything, you can keep it to yourself until such time. That's fine. But it's good to see
the name out there here in about, I don't know, in the next 9 minutes when we do the Wild Wild West show. When we get to talking about the way forward and stuff like that. So just so you know.
Well, gosh darn it, I got to go eat something. That's one of the reasons why I actually did it early. Eddie's not keeping it to himself. You just got to watch Wild Wild West. It's called a tease. It's a tease.
It's a tease. It's a tease. I'm
it's
teasing.
Come over to the Wild Wild West show, and you will learn all that you need to know.
Yep. 8 minutes.
In 8 minutes. Okay.
All you got to do is at 93 Nabman will probably get you there. Or if you're doing it on YouTube, if you just put in the comments, Raider Shield family, then that will get you there. Understand there's going to be 3 of us with 3 different streams going. So understand you may not see all of it unless you subscribe to everyone. So just so you understand that.
Well, I unless they pull the plugs, I know it's coming in on my channel.
Yeah. Fact. No question.
There. Okay. Well, then I can go back. I can go back and watch it. So I actually can go eat and not miss the news.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to miss.
Absolutely. It's a name that's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you might want to hit that up in private chat before you go.
Okay. I'll shoot it to you on IG real quick.
Yeah. Put it up in private chat or IG, whichever one that you got would be good. But
that being said,
before you say that, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead.
What? No. You were going to say something. I had to cut you off.
No, that being said, I need to go because
okay.
And Deezy are expecting me to be there.
Okay. Well, again, tell them I send a tip of the hat, and I'm glad you got on.
I'll throw the name to you on IG, and you figure out where he comes from. Okay.
Okay. Well, I and that's how we talk to each other, right?
I suspect so. Yeah.
Okay. However you do it, I know there's Facebook Messenger and IG Messenger and however you
get.
I
have you on my phone. I'll just put the number on the phone. Don't I have you on my phone?
I got you on my phone. Just text me.
Okay, will do.
All right, Nav, you pop over, say hello to everybody. Remember, Wild Wild West. If you want to know and don't want to wait, go over there now.
Yeah, 6 minutes. Just saying.
6 minutes.
But I will tell you, the Broncos dude is the host, and he's always late. So hang around. He will eventually launch the show. Kenna can tell you.
Yeah, I know. I when I was on it, I was like, I'm here. But you get on eventually. But
I got you,
okay,
man.
before we got before you go, who wins and when, or who wins and by how much?
37-17 Seahawks.
Okay, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Hopefully, we'll see that.
It's going to be an ass whooping. There's no question in my mind.
Okay.
Unless Sam Darnold turns into Sam Darnold from the Jets, it's going to be a complete ass whooping in that Super Bowl. There's no question in my mind.
Okay. Well, I mean, that won't be good for me on that bet, so I might make another bet where it's over, and Patriots do not cover.
I just don't see the Patriots being even close to the team the Seahawks are, man. They
but
just don't have.
Does it go over? What is it? 46?
Yeah, I think it does because that's what it is. 37-17 is what 54. So
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
I just think the Seahawks are going to freaking score on the Patriots. I think they're going to score at will.
Okay.
So,
well, then based upon what you're saying, I will make that other bet.
Damn it. Don't put it on me though, and don't blame me if it's fails. All right.
It's only $25, man. Go ahead and go.
Yeah,
Take care, Bob.
No big deal, man. Hey, off I go, brother. Hey, good to see you. Hey, we're going to the Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West on this channel if you're watching on my show. Take care, Bob.
All right, man. See you.
That is Bob Navman. I'm going to kick him just so he gets over there. He is there. Ed says take the under. I got my phone up here. If anybody wants to come in the show, I'm going to paste it again. If you want to come in the show, hit the link. If you do, that's great. If not, then I will go get something to eat. I'm going to get something to eat later in a minute. But if you want to come in, if you're going to come in, hit me up in the comments section saying that I'm going to come into the show. Because this way I won't be schwitzing here for no reason. Oh, okay. I'll have to. Hey, Mark, I'm on my show right now. I'm giving you a voice message. I don't know why there was a muting and it closed out. I apologize. I'm going to call it a technical difficulty, but you and Kayla were wonderful. I swear it was me. Remember the old expression, it's not you, it's me. So it was me. You guys take care and we'll see you on for another show, especially if the Patriots win, come over and we'll talk about, that you can gloss over everybody that was saying that it was going to be an ass whipping, because I just had a guy here say it was going to be an ass whipping. So you can come in and and talk to yourself about that. You guys take care. Thanks again there, Mark. Appreciate you. And that was my message. That was my message to Mark Santos. Oh, okay. And I didn't put it up. I didn't put the stuff up that was in the comments section. I didn't put it up. That would just be rude. But I am going to go. And again, we love Navman. We love Jack Kenna. For those that liked me, thank you. And at least it's like, was it when Sally Field won the Oscar? You like me. You really like me. And I appreciate that. So anyway, yeah, I agree, Ken. It should be on his channel. That I agree with. Anyway, if you want to hit the show, basically, who else is here? Jack Kenna's in here. Ed, Cool Kev, come on in if you want to. Jack West of Feste, Dory was here. John C was here. Thank you, bud. If I'm missing anybody, I'm probably missing it. Now, I want to say, did you see from, and I'll put this. Did you see from Jay Glazer, Max doesn't want to go through another rebuild and possibly might want to be traded? I did not see that yet. I did not see that yet, Jack. So I will, after I eat, I'm going to figure out what I want. Chicken. I haven't got chicken in a while. Maybe I'll go to, wait. Hooters has a Wednesday chicken special. Hooters. And for those that don't, if you know my room, if you look and you see that there is no drum set over there, the white sheet that used to be over there, don't give me a shit about a white sheet. It wasn't a white sheet type thing. But the white sheet that was covering up my drums, the drums are not here. because I have to clean up the room for the Super Bowl event this weekend, which means I got to clean up a bunch of this shit. And the drums are in the garage. And if I had a place to put them on the patio, because by the way, I just got a jacuzzi, or at least I'm getting a jacuzzi. I just paid for a jacuzzi. So in the next 2 weeks, Jack Kenna, go ahead. Good. Hey, Kenna, go over to the Wild Wild West. Good to see you. Good night to you as well. And I'll look up that. I'll look up that thing about the Jay Glazer. We'll see what it is. You put. Hey Kev, those magazines are right over here. I have a collection, old collection of said things. There is not one. Thank you there, Jack. Hit the likes. If you're here now, please give me a like and push and share, please. Like and share. I need like what? I need 10 people to get. Is it 2,400 or 2,300? It's like I'm like at 2,290 for subscribers. That'd be nice. It's a nice round number. But anyway, Super Bowl on Sunday. I'm going to go get something to eat. It's going to be chicken. I'm going to go to Hooters. I'm thinking I'm going to Hooters. So until then, thank you, Mark Santos, and thank you, Miss Kayla, for being on the show. And it's always great to hear from you. So y'all out there in Raider Nation, again, for the folks that had a chance to see the Tom Flores event the other day, go back and look at it. It was great that we had a chance to give flowers to the coach while he's still here. You know, amazing that we can do that. So again, until next time, it's Wednesday. Maybe I'll probably do a show tomorrow, but there's really not a lot to talk about. Or is there? That's a tease. So look up for the show tomorrow. Yeah, Cool Cat said, "Cool, come back later." No, I'm like, what is it, Beetlejuice? You know when he's supposed to, and that's why I only do one show a night. One show a night. Thanks, Ed. And yeah, I'm gonna get some dinner. Especially if I'm going out to Hooters, man, I'm not sitting back. I gotta clean my room, guys and gals. It's a couple day job. Trust me. So until next show tomorrow. We'll see you. Take care, everybody, and catch you on the flip side, as they say. We'll see you out there.